Hello. Hello everyone. Today I will lead the paper reading on the topic of geological activity shapes the microbiome in deep subsurface aquifers by advection. 怎么办？我怎么切不了页？
你要在这里先点。
First of all, I will introduce the author. Yuran Zhang. She received her master and PhD doctoral degree at Stanford University, and she did a postdoctoral. She was a postdoc at Tsinghua University, and now she's an associate professor at Institute of Geology and Geophysics. So this picture shows the test bed of the entire samples. So it's named EGS, stands for Enhanced Geothermal System. This location at the SURF stands for Sanford Underground Resource.
Facility.
Yeah. This picture shows the location. Research, sorry, facility. Shows the location of the field site, and figure 1B shows the difference between rock matrix and sealed fracture rock and open fracture, namely not permeable or permeable. Figure 1C shows the configuration of all the 8 bore holes. So we need to pay more attention on this picture, because we will use like these shorthands in future. And figure 1D is a simplified model of a fracture network. So it's a simplified one. Just give readers a sense. And this is the results which figures. And A means the injection rate. So they inject some industrial water into the boreholes. So this one means this one shows the injection rate, and B shows the outflow rate. C, D, and E, F, G, they are different bioholes, and bioholes, boreholes. So they show like the top 10 microbial compositions of each boreholes at on different sampling days. And last one is the legends of the microbes. And this one is their principal coordinate analysis results. So they do the trajectory of each boreholes. So these results figures look massive, but we will separate them. So here are their results. The first one is the dynamic deep subsurface permeable fracture network just to natural geological activity. How they draw this conclusion? They did a test named tracer test, and this part is their results. And this PDT, PI, PB, they are boreholes or some interval piker, as shown before. And so they did this test 4 times in total, basically every 2 or 3 months. And as shown here, the date of the test. The x-axis stands for volume recovered, and the y-axis stands for basically concentration. So they because the locations of the peak changed. So they say this means the fracture activities changed, and they explain these activities, like the cause of these activities was natural geological activity, like earthquakes. And the second result was comprised of 3 parts. So this is the first one. The first one, so they say the PDT, that borehole community was highly similar to P and PB communities during the first 3 weeks of sampling. So I separated the figure, and so it's easier for us to understand this result. And then, however, at around day 29, the PDT community switched rapidly to a distinct community, and thereafter remained stable at what resembled the day of 43 to 56 PSD community. So here is also the PDT community, and this one is PSD community, and I also put the time here. So it means from day 29, the composition of PDT communities resembled the composition of PSD community. So specifically they mentioned these microbes. And so they believe this shift coincided with event A by the timing, and also they say this could indicate that PDT was initially producing primarily from the same flow path feeding PI or PB, because they were similar during the first 3 weeks, but later produced mainly from the flow path feeding PSD in June 2019. And the second part, they mentioned that so there was a ASV 1 delta. So it's an unclassified delta proteobacteria. So because before this, it was undetected, but so like after the event B, this timing, they started to detect this kind of macro. And so there are 2 explanations for this. One is that here in early June 2019, it was a 1 week injection pause. So it may have caused a hydraulic fracture to partially close. And and the other one is also during this pause, but maybe it changed. So it changed the pressure. It depressurized the local fracture network during this time, during this week, and allowing regional groundwater carrying distinct microbes to intrude. So these distinct macros include this ASV1 delta, and later be displaced when the system was repressurized. Also, the second part they also mentioned between event A and C, another kind of unclassified micro was started to be detected. So this one, but this one so it was not associated with any apparent preceding incident. Also, they explain this as the arrival of distant this macro bearing underground water at this location, at this borehole PST. Okay, the last part of the results too is that they they say like for the first 50 days the composition of PI community and also PB community, they were similar. But after some notable changes, like the PI community, like they went this place like earlier than the PB community. So they explain this as the local, so there might be some local flow and its direction near borehole P was from PI to PB. So namely fluid associated community reaching PI first, then PB. And finally, the last results. So they did some biological tests, and they got these heat maps. So I didn't really understand the tests, but we can just see. So here, the green stands for disposal limitation, and the pink stands for homogenizing disposal. And if we have a look at this, so this was from table 1. They both indicate some stochastic process, and we can easily see the most part of these two heat maps are green and pink. So they draw this conclusion: stochastic ecological process dominate more than 80% of the observed spatial and temporal microbial community turnover. That's all. Thank you.
OK，可以停止录屏。好，你可以用中文重讲一遍。
没有停啊，我没停，我结束共享了 ，sorry。
对，你重新再讲。
等会儿。